lesbians. We haven't talked about this at all. We're talking about business closures of lesbian businesses in America, how they spend their money, other indicators of where they are in the LGBTQ community. Anybody have any comments about lesbians?
So where are you girls, okay? Here I am. I'm the first lesbian on this gay male television live gay show here on Facebook. I'm the first lesbian in about 20 episodes, okay? Where are you girls? It's a handful, a very small percentage of our community stepping up and being bold and living life, not just growing old. What's going on, guys? We have lesbians opening up. Everyone is saying, where's that lesbian bar? And then the lesbian bar opens and you guys are nowhere to be found. What's going on when you go to the lesbian bar and you're bringing your own alcohol to the bar, guys? Okay? How are we going to survive and have a home for us if we're unwilling to support the businesses, okay? And I get it, guys. I get that you're making a lot less than men in the world. I get it, okay? But it can't be just the affluent lesbians out there supporting the lesbian community and where we're headed, okay? Let's rock and roll, guys.
Damn.
Put gas in that Subaru and come on.
Put gas in the Subaru. That's right. Other thoughts about where the lesbians are? How do they interact with our community?
I mean, in my experience, lesbians are where most women are, is supporting our work, supporting our art, volunteering for our causes, and mostly going underappreciated.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have a ton of lesbian friends. I know that sounds so cliche to say, but they all seem to come from my activist circles.
Last to the party, first on the line. I get that. But at the same time, it's like, where are they? It's like, where's Waldo? It's becoming a joke now, okay?
In my experience with the lesbians in the community in DC, they'll all come out to the bar once or twice, they find a partner, and then they leave.
I know, we're very nurturing.
They're very nurturing, but unlike the men in the gay community, they've got partners and they come out on an ongoing basis. Many of the lesbians, it's like those of you who haven't been married straight, a lot of the straight world is when you go out and you find a partner and then they leave all their single friends behind because they go off and form their community in their home, and they get a different set of people that they're talking to, and they leave the rest of the world behind. That's the same thing that's going, at least I see.
Well, guys, I didn't become a lesbian so I could become straight, okay? You know what I mean? I'm just saying that,
I'm saying it's just a lot of life.
And really the question is it possible to still be fun and still go and find someone who you care about and build a life together and build a community together, have children, and still be able to live your life and still be able to support your community?
I'm curious to your observations, and I love the match and the lighter fluid that you start right from the get-go. If I make these comments, and I'm going to make a few similar comments, if I make those comments, I'm going to be viewed negatively.
Because you're not a lesbian, so you have to stay in your lane sometimes.
I know, but
I know that's very difficult for you, but you, Tom Brokaw, sometimes you just gotta stay in your lane and let people, speak their own truth.
Did you just call me an old white guy?
Did I?
Yeah, I think
I don't know. I think I heard that.
My point to that observation is, why isn't it acceptable for me to make this exact same? I have been in the gay community. The show identifies me as a gay guru of knowing culture and community in America. No, I didn't. And by the way, it's true. It's absolutely true. If I make these comments, I'm going to be highly criticized in the community, even though they're true. Why can't we talk about this where I say, what's going on with the girls? Why are you doing what you're doing?
Well, that's why we have Josie here. I think don't talk about us without us is what it comes down to.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Talk to each other about it.
Okay. Right.
Bring people into the conversation who actually are living that experience, and then you can have a dialogue.
Interesting observation, and I said this. Josie and I had lunch, and we talked about this specifically, and I was really upfront with her to say there was not a lesbian point of view on this show. Very specifically, there was only one reason: me. I said no. And the reason I said no is because this was a show generating, talking about gay community, which is principally gay men. And whether that's right or wrong, whether that's right or wrong.
Say it louder for Al. He doesn't have his
Where are
earpiece
the
in.
lesbians?
Right? The point is, it's a fact, whether it's right or wrong. And that even that stereotype of we don't want lesbian women to be involved in this conversation or talk about them in relation to our conversation because they are so different than gay men in so many different ways. Mixing them is not desirable even for America's most popular live gay talk show.
I want to say, I think it's interesting to note, however, that when the show was first pitched to me, it was premised on 5 guys,
Yep.
kind of like the gay version of The View.
Mm-hmm.
The View does not have a male host.
Right.
So I think that we're doing something really, really phenomenal by saying, okay, this was our original concept and our original idea.
And we're evolving.
But we're evolving.
That's an
We have a
awesome
trans,
observation.
We have a lesbian.
Including me, by
we
the
have
way. Including me.
That's what we call calling out your own bullshit. We're very proud of you.
You know?
Thank you for holding your tongue on that.
I mean, we've really evolved because this is not, when we first did our first audition, which you guys would never see, one day when we become very, very rich and famous, we should really show that first audition. But when we did our first audition, that was the vision that Darren and Frank and the rest of them had for the show.
Right.
Interesting enough to see how the show has evolved, and I think it's evolved in a beautiful way.
Yeah. Other thoughts about the community?
I think to echo kind of what you said, our conversations and the real shit that we've been talking about, as someone commented on us, has brought to light the voices that are missing in a lot of the conversations in our community in general.
Including trans, including race issues,
absolutely.
including conservative issues. We're finding a common thread. Even if we don't like the voices should still be at the table.
Did you just tell me you don't like me? Is that
No,
was
no.
that a backhanded?
No, and you make a joke, but I have told Erin repeatedly, she's been one of the bright spots.
You just did that. You just
I
did
know.
that.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, that was bad.
Well, and I want to just add, I'm very tough on my sisters, okay? Because I am a lesbian and I've been one for 44 years, okay? That being said, when you talk about lesbians, I can I can chop at them and I can, criticize our community for how they don't show up. But go make a friend with a lesbian. They're the most loyal. Talk about that nurturing. If they're not nurturing their own girlfriends and their own families, they'll be nurturing you,
It's
okay? We're fierce. We're fearless. We're probably the strongest piece to our community. And not to say that my gay brothers are not, but I'm just saying, I said this before. It's like, we're the last to the party and the first on the line. All my female friends, my lesbian friends, my early years were anarchist activists, you know what I mean? And that being said, it's still, if we're going to continue to thrive, we have to come out and we have to
Absolutely.
support.
It's interesting to me, and I say this, I'm going to say it inarticulately. The gel shots are kicking in, by the way. One of the things that I personally love about this show, which I hope a viewer at home, however they're watching us, has the exact same feeling. For me, I'm learning. As much as I think I know about the gay community, I'm learning lots of new things. And it's because Erin represents a perspective that I don't embrace every single day. Power in the club and the DJ Diva circuit is a representation of something I don't represent in my life every single day. Joe, being conservative, I don't represent every single day. And now you, I don't represent every single day. But I do recognize that the combination of those different seats are good for me. Absolutely. And that's what I want to commit to in terms of what we're doing.
And if we are going to build community, it has to be all of us together.
Yeah.
We have to love one another and recognize one another for what we are and how we all contribute to that community.
Yes. All right.
We have to be willing to listen to one
Yes,
another.
exactly. And so I challenge our lesbian friends. We want you to come to It's Happening Out. We want to be able to discuss this. We have a new voice that will help bring these things in front of us. One of the things Josie, I tell you very quickly, told me at lunch that knocked me down because I thought about it and I thought, wow, this is really true. Josie said that every lesbian has many, many gay friends. A gay guy has a single lesbian friend.
I said that to you.
And well, okay, then both
Are you
of you have
confusing?
said it.
Are we already doing that?
Said it at lunch. Sorry, so both of you said it, and I thought that was
but
really
but
interesting.
Safe wavelength though.
Yeah.
That's because I was raised in the wild by lesbians.
Yeah,
so that's
you
what
were
happens,
raised in
you
the
know.
wild by
Well,
lesbians.
you know, it's a prerequisite to being a trans man.
We for sure in coming weeks are going to be talking about U-Hauls. We're going to be talking more about free
Yay, I
beer.
can't wait.
That hasn't been done to death.
Right. All right.